So many people are asking if MAGA regrets voting in Donald Trump and supporting people like Vivek and Elon. No, not in the slightest.
You know, if playing in our face was a sport, these people would be in the Olympics. So, Post 7-Elect just announced that they are moving to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And I ain't gonna hold you, I done had a lot of down white homegirls in my time, but I don't know who take the cake, Marjorie or Ginger Gates, because the Margie follow up talking about something, and I'm gonna introduce legislation ASAP to officially change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to its rightful name, the Gulf of America. So you know me, I'm like, okay, they out here moving, they didn't figure out a move, and then I decided to research, well, how do y'all actually change the name? Like, how do y'all actually do that? And lo and behold, it's out there if you do the research. The U.S. Board on Geographical Names oversees the process for changing geographic feature names in the United States. To initiate a name change, the following steps will be necessary. 1. Submit a formal proposal to the BGN with A. Compelling reason for the change, B. Evidence of local support, and C. Research on the history of the existing name. And I know what they say about assumptions, but I can only assume that the way that y'all folks don't want nothing to do with fact checking, the research part, that probably didn't happen. And so with that, I just want to throw it out there that according to what I've researched, this process, it's not an easy one, okay? It would take years to complete because it requires extensive review. And then also because of where this geographical area is located, because it's surrounded by multiple countries, right? The U.S., Mexico, and Cuba. It looks like, from my research, international cooperation and agreement would be required to make this happen. Okay, but when we gonna get to the price of eggs?
This just in, Donald Trump has said he wants to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And strangely, I don't have a problem with changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico, but not Gulf of America. No, that doesn't work. I think we should just call it Fred. And when I say Fred, I don't mean Gulf of Fred. I mean just Fred. It's simple, it's short, it's punchy, and it doesn't contain too many syllables, so the MAGA should be able to handle that. Now when they ramp up oil exploration in the Gulf, they can say, we're going to go drill Fred. I think it's a stroke of genius.
Hey, real quick, who is supposed to be watching Donald? This man gonna get up here on the internet that I pay for, talking about he gonna rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Donald, on your list of shit that you need to get done this month, that's the one you went for? Renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Actually, you know what? Everybody by your heads. Sky Daddy, we come to you with humble hearts to ask you to please help us. It's some ghetto down here. I don't know if you meant for it to be this ghetto. And I get it that you created us all in thine perfect image. It's just Sky Daddy. That one, we're grateful. But Sky Daddy, it's medium to extra large ghetto down here. Hey, I love you. Okay, bye.
But Donald Trump just said he wants to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America when he assumes the presidency. So during his press conference this morning at Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump said the following, quote, "We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America," end quote, as if he has the power to do that, which he doesn't. The Gulf of Mexico is an internationally recognized name, so if Donald Trump thinks he can change its name without cooperation and agreement from other governments, he is mistaken. Secondly, this is proof that Donald Trump does not care about lowering grocery prices or proposing a healthcare plan. No, instead, he is focusing on trying to change the name of a body of water that he does not have the authority to. I'm sure this is not what the working class Americans who voted for Donald Trump in the hopes that he would make eggs, milk, and bacon cheaper had in mind when they voted for him.
Say he's changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. How deep can the colonization run? Like, is it really that serious? It's been the Gulf of Mexico for fucking ever. Do we really need to change the name? Like, I just feel like that just doesn't need to be changed. I feel like there's no point to that. I feel like it's just to feel like you have power and America's woo and we own and we... Just let it be the Gulf of Mexico. Like, it's been the Gulf of Mexico. I'm not going to stop calling it the Gulf of Mexico if you guys change the name to the Gulf of America. That's not going to change anything for me. It's like Elon Musk changing Twitter to X. Bitch, I still call it Twitter. Quite literally, I'm never going to stop calling it Twitter because that's so ingrained in my brain. You think I'm going to stop calling it the Gulf of Mexico? Because colonization made you think it was okay to rename it Gulf of America? Bitch, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous and that's dumb. Please.
So today, everybody's favorite president-elect in name only and Elon Musk's bestiest bestie, Donald Trump, took to the media and held a press conference at Mar-a-Lago to talk about the things, all of the things. And today the fixation was really about water. First, about the fact that there's not enough water in washing machines and dishwashers these days, so you just got to keep pressing buttons and starting them over and over because otherwise they don't get clean enough. And I'm sure Donald Trump has a lot of experience in personally washing his own dishes and his own clothes. But I digress. Today, the bigger focus was on a body of water, the Gulf of Mexico, which is now being called the Gulf of America by Donald Trump. And we know from experience with Donald Trump that just slapping your name on something means it will be a smash hit. Things like Trump steaks and Trump water and Trump casinos and Trump the board game and Trump watches and Trump guitars and Trump Bibles and Trump University. All of those things, do not look this up, were great successes because they bore the Trump name. So if we just do that to everyone in the globe with America, like if we call Canada the hat of America and we call Panama Canal the shoelace of America, and maybe we can refer to Greenland as East America, and maybe someday Russia can be West America. Florida could be the dangling too far below your belt tie of America. I guess my point being, the only way to make these places great again is just to say they are America.